Okay, recording has now started, guys. But Sam, you don't mind, man, will you open us up in a word of prayer?
Sure. Dear Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for letting all the Force One come through the storm, and thankful that none of us got the worst of the weather. None of us got the limbs down on our house or on our cars. None of us lost any family members, I pray. And all of us being safe on the road to see another day. I want to ask that you bless the call tonight and let something be said that can help somebody. Amen.
Amen. Appreciate that, Brother Sam. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate each and every one that done chimed in thus far, man. You know, so like I said, I guess a lot of people probably done got blown so far away from their home and trying to find their way back home. So that's where we're going to look at tonight. We pray to God that He will, direct them back to their proper place. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but we're not going to worry about that. They were one or two people. That's who I was supposed to be. I'm a firm believer in who's here. Supposed to be here. I'm a firm believer in that. So, like I said, man, I want to welcome you guys, man, to a Force One call, man, tonight on this beautiful, beautiful day. It was beautiful yesterday, man. We were doing all that storm and all that raining. That was beautiful, man. Anytime you're able for your eyes pop open, man, you're able to see whatever's going on. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, man, because there's so many people, man, can't even see. I was just listening to our pastor a few weeks ago. He was ministering, and he was saying that, and it was his wife, this lady, had called in and told him that the Sunday previous to that Sunday, her husband was watching the broadcast. They wasn't from around here anywhere. They were watching the broadcast of Sunday morning service. They were live streaming it, and her husband was blind, and said the Lord healed him during the broadcast. As Bishop was praying, and said, Lord, heal him, during the broadcast, So that's why I said, man, so God is still opening eyes and everything, man. So we got lots to be thankful for. So that's what we just going to pretty much do a round of robin tonight and just talk about some of those things. Like we are the people, man. When I say other people, I don't mean just black. I mean white, Mexican, Hispanic, Korean, whoever. We are the people, man. We need to start doing more reflection and what have you, man. And so that's very, very key, man. When you look back and do reflection, seeing where you are today and how far you done came and some of the things you have overcame, So that's just something to give thanks for. So we should give thanks more. Don't just wait to Thanksgiving every year to just look back and say, I'm thankful for this and I'm grateful for that. We need to do that each and every day, man. Before we turn in every night, we need to just look back and just thank God for bringing us through this day. And so we as a people, man, here in America, here in the United States, we are wonderfully, wonderfully, wonderfully blessed, man. So we don't have to deal with a lot of those disastrous things that going on, man, across the country. We don't have to deal with what's called I can't tongue twist it. Some of you, how you call them? Those are the some of you, and we don't have to deal with those things. We don't have to deal with mudslides. We don't have to deal with very tsunami. Yeah, tsunami. Thank you, man. My tongue kept being twisted. We're trying to get that word out. We don't have to deal with tsunamis and what have you, man. We don't have to deal with brush fire. We don't have to deal with mudslides and all that, man, and all the floods and everything. So we blessed to live here in America, man. Because one thing about here in America, man, we got so many hills and stuff like that, man. So that pretty much stops a lot of us from being flooded. Because it may be a flood on this side of the street, and on the other side of the street, no harm, no damage at all. Because we experienced that some years back. Because I know, like right down there where my mom lived, And on one side of the street, her house, my mom's house was flooded. It was underwater. But across the street, those houses didn't even get touched. Simple reason, because the way the land is, we got uphill, we got high and valley. And most of the land in the other places like Florida and Texas, they just are just flat. Just flat land. So that's the reason it caused so much structural damage. Just the whole place wind up being flooded because everything just flat. So that's why I said, man, we blessed here, and very seldom we'll get a tornado or something that comes through here and just wipe things out. So that's why I said, man, we here in America, man, we are wonderfully, wonderfully blessed. And one of the biggest complaints, one of the most things that we have to worry about and that we complain about is traffic, man. If that's all the people like in Texas and in Florida and places like that, and Indians had to complain about, they wouldn't have no complaint. And see, our biggest complaint is traffic. I mean, they would love to have that problem, just traffic right now. But see, and that gonna be solved in the coming years. I was just looking at the other day. I don't know if you all in the scene, the future transportation, the way they got those things. It's like flying saucers and everything that's going up over the cars and everything. They got a little pig going right down the center line, just traveling, just moving right over the top of the car. Hey, man, it's amazing how it is, man. When I seen that, I said, wow. And I think that will be taking place within the next 10 years or so. And that's going to really help the traffic a whole lot, man. And like in one of them little buckets, the way they had it, at least by 100-something people could get into one of those buckets, and they had like 3 or 4 of them somewhat connected together. And it was amazing, man. If you haven't seen it, man, let me know, and I can text it to you, and I can message it to you on Facebook. And it's amazing. When I seen that, man, I was just blown away. And I can see that happening real soon too, man. They're gonna really cut down on the traffic because that's growth, man. And so that's what I say, guys. If anybody got anything they just want to just share with us tonight, man, and just be thankful, whatever they're thankful for, and just share with us. Just let us know, man. So just let us know. So anybody got anything they want to share with us tonight? So we're not having a speaker tonight. We'll have one next week. I think John is supposed to speak to us on next week. And so talk to me, somebody. Just share what you're thankful for, what you're grateful for. Talk to me, somebody.
Dr. Marshall.
Talk to me. Who is speaking? Identify yourself.
Hey, it's been this long, you don't even recognize my voice.
Oh, what's going on, my friend? What's going on, man? Always good to hear your voice, Big Duga. What part of the country you in, man?
No, I'm in Douglasville right now.
Oh, you in Douglasville right now? Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me, man.
I was in Denver this week. I was in Denver last week. I was supposed to be in Miami this week.
According to the weather.
Yeah, we know what happened with Irma. But what I actually do want to talk about, as we talk about, we here in America are blessed and fortunate for everything that we have, the support system that is here. And interestingly enough, I was having this conversation today with a group of folks, and I was explaining to them, in the Caribbean, where, some of the islands there were devastated, and they don't have the type of support system that we have here in the U.S. There, you have FEMA, you have the individuals with resources that can contribute towards helping the people that had significant losses throughout the storm. One thing in particular for me is when I look at the relief down in the Caribbean, the U.S. government, really what they're doing the relief that they're sending down there, they're sending those planes and those ships to get their citizens out of there. And we have this one employee that worked down in St. Thomas, and this is the first time she experienced such thing as a hurricane. And she's like, "Get me out of here! Get me out of here! I need to get out of here!" And then, and I said to the group I was talking to, I said, she has that option where she can get out of there, but you have the natives there who they don't have that. They don't have that option. They have to go into survival mode at this point in time, where they don't have a place to lay their head without getting wet. I've been through some storms in the Caribbean myself, where the roof of our house blown off, and we getting soaked. We in the rain. So what we have to do is try to get some, whatever it is, whether it's tarp or galvanized, to put over to put on the roof, the top of the house, so we can at least put ourselves in a certain place within the house to get that shelter. Furniture soak, bed soak, so we the sun come out, we get those things out there to get dry, so we have somewhere to lay our heads the next day. If it keeps raining, then what do? We have to lay on those on the floor where it's wet. So, so to put all that into perspective and seeing, what we have here in the U.S., we are so blessed, we are so fortunate to have the support system that we have. Because when you take into consideration other people around the world, the things that they have to go through, they don't have the type of support system. And, I said to people all the time, I said, I can survive wherever. Because I've been through it. I know what it is to go through these type of things. So what the West Indians, the Caribbeanites, the folks there are going through right now, I don't know how you compare it to what we see here today. I mean, you have shelters and stuff here. Down in St. Thomas, the hospital was destroyed. Schools were destroyed. There's no electricity. There's no running water. So these people in survival mode, and what they have to do is, hey, how do I find out? Right now, the power, you have to go back to the primitive days where now you have to make fire outside with firewood. You have to find a pot to boil water to drink. So, it's interesting that we talk about this tonight, because I had the same conversation today with a group to just say, hey, we have to be thankful. We have to be, help support where we can.
That's right.
For me in particular, we're working on putting some things to send down to the Caribbean. But the thing is, how do you get it there? Who's going to take it? It's
right.
Get down there. Like right now, the airport in Barbuda is destroyed. You can't fly out. St. Thomas Airport, St. Martin, those islands there, it's 95% of Barbuda was destroyed.
Wow.
Their structure, all the structures are down. You see debris, houses flattened. And it's fortunate for them there that there were only one life lost on Barbuda. When you see the devastation there, you give thanks for them, and it's really putting things into perspective on where we are now, what are our ability, what opportunities that we have, and how can we support those people who've been in these storms. It's devastating. But no, I'm glad we were able to talk about this today because it's I've been through it. I know what it's like. And so that's what I wanted to say.
Wow, that's powerful right there, man. People have to live through. That's why so in time like this, man, that's why it just pays to come together, man. You have to do whatever you can to lend a helping hand because that easy way could have been you, but just whatever reason, it's not us. We're blessed, man, and it's not because the pastor was just speaking on this past week. He was speaking about, just because we have all these disasters in those different places, that doesn't mean those people are evil and all this and that. He's trying to teach them a lesson, this and that. That's not the case. That could easily well happen anywhere, man. So now is a time for, I think the word is groaning for letting us know it's time for us to cut out all this foolishness, man, and start coming together, man, and quit bickering and start being more grateful and thankful for whatever you have, man. We especially here in America, man, because like I said earlier, man, we living in the best part of the country it is, because we living in a place, man, we can have and be whatever it is that we want to be, man. And so if you just learn those 3 H's, man, those 3 H's, we just learn how to be humble, and we learn how to continue to be hungry and learn how to hustle. We can have anything. We got to be humble, man. You got to know who you are. If you know who you are, man, and what's on the inside of you, what God put on the inside of you, you can pretty much attain anything, man. And you got to continue to be hungry, man. You got knowing where it is that you want and where do you want to go and what you can obtain it, man, by just hustling, man. And come up with some kind of plan. How will you get there? You continue to stay humble, hungry, and hustle, and you can pretty much attain anything because we don't have to deal with a lot of those disasters that the other people have to deal with. These people, man, they work and everything they don't work for their whole life and be destroyed in a nighttime. Stuff like that can be suicidal, man. That can be suicidal. How do you cope after a time after you done lost everything that you done worked for all your life, like 20, 30 years, and you done work for it, then you see it just taken away all in a nighttime. And, you always lived a good life, and you always did things to try to help other people, then all of a sudden you get hit like that. That right there will cause you to question God. Why me, God? Why me? So that's the time, during time like that, that's the time God can really get the praise. When people seeing you are not falling out and not getting angry and cussing God and this and that, you still, in the midst of all that, you still praising and thanking God. And hey, man, that's the time God can really get some praise. And that really tell the true story. That's the true test of your faith right there, And so I can imagine, Duke, about you staying in the Caribbean, man. I imagine you have been through a lot. You done seen a lot, man. So I never been in a place where my whole roof was just taken off. I never been involved in a tornado before. And I imagine that could really be disaster. That could really be scary. Because, you never been through anything like that before, man. That can cause you to have a heart attack. Because you're not knowing what the outcome going to be. It can be so scary, man. And I can imagine what it could be like. And so, man, you spot on, man. That's good stuff, man. So, like I say, man, we got to continue to be more grateful and thankful each and every day. That's why we should do whatever we can to help other people, man. When someone need a helping hand, give them a helping hand. Make sure that you're giving a helping hand. You're giving a help up and not a hand out. Because a lot of people don't sit around and look for handouts and what have you. But make sure that it's a hand up and not just a handout when you help people. Because some people just, they plays on situations and what have you. And so you got to make sure whenever you're doing certain things, make sure it's in line with what God wants you to do and what have you. So that's something I had to learn because I was quick about opening my wallet up, helping hand to other people. So now I still do it, but I'm a little bit more cautious about doing it now. I weigh the cost more. Are there anyone else? Talk to me, somebody.
Hey, Dr. Frank, John here. How are you today?
I'm doing very well, John. How you doing, man? Good to hear your voice, Big John.
Hey, thank you. And hello to all the other men on the call today. I'm so looking forward to learning with you. And I'm reminded of the time I was stationed in Honduras in 1998 while in the Air Force, and Hurricane Mitch hit Central America, and of course it devastated the country. You would hear stories of families, villages of 150 people just wiped away in a mudslide, killed. So
wow.
Everything was devastated. I think what I was thankful for at that time and today is when we see externally with our eyes people going through pain and suffering, how we rally together to come to their help. We don't think about it. We just join in and we make it happen however we choose to do that with our resources, whether it's money, food supplies, or even our labor. And I was just wondering, the thought that came to me in listening to the conversations now is, what would it be like if we could see the invisible pain and suffering that people are going through when there's not an atrocity like today in our world, and how we could rally to help those people who it's not obvious that they're hurting. And so I'm asking for God to reveal more of that to me so I can be a resource day to day, not just when there's a hurricane, a flood, a tornado, a death, etc., but to be there for people who internally have pain and suffering. How can I see that and be a resource for them?
Wow, that's good, John. You're absolutely right, and that's something I am praying for too, man. Like God continues giving me more ideas and whatever the case may be, because He give you ideas, because He don't give you resources. He give us ideas and everything, and we turn those ideas into resource and what have you, man. It's up to us to put the legs to it. So that's what I'm praying for, because just looking around now, the condition that this world is in, man, it seems like it's just no love anymore. That's what we got to learn how to do. What can we do to put the love back into it? If we put the love back into this thing, man, that'll solve a lot of our problem right now. People just don't care anymore. Mm-hmm. I was just talking to a guy not yesterday, Sunday at church here in Albuquerque, saying, he was saying that he was going down the road, and he said all of a sudden something told him to turn around and go back another direction. And he said he just couldn't seem to understand it. So he turned around and went back in the other direction. And he said as he got about a mile or so down the road, and he looked over and he seen a man just laying there. And so he said he stopped and got out and went over there and talked to the man to help the man. He called 911. He said he could see why the guy been laying there for a while, because the blood and everything, man, was like it would kind of start drying up. So that's an indication that he had been laying there for a while. He said he don't know whether the guy, because it was a bridge there, he don't know whether the guy jumped off the bridge, tried to commit suicide or what. And he said he knew, and it was a real visible on the highway, like no other people seen it and what have, but nobody stopped, man. He said so it's amazing how God allowed him to turn around and go back that way, man. Then he said when the police and the 911, everybody, when they got there, and he was asking the question, he said, man, I just can't understand why didn't nobody see this man laying here or what have. Yeah, like I was saying, you know how it is, just like in the Bible, like how people crossing to the other side to keep from being bothered. Nobody care anymore. And he said that guy and the paramedic guy, and he said, I'll tell you why. He said it's just no love no more. And I said, good. Absolutely right. That's the problem. The love, it's no love anymore, man. We put the love back in, and so many people wouldn't suffer no more. That's the reason so many people do the things that they do, because they don't feel love, man. They don't feel value. That's our job, is to help one another. We were put here to serve, man. We wasn't put here just to gather up everything that we can gather up. Say, I got mine, you got yours. God is not pleased with that. Because my money and the things that I gathered up, my vehicle, that's not my vehicle just for me. That vehicle was for me to help other people to make this world a better place. My money is to make this world a better place. He didn't give me that money for me just to to sit back and start condescending and looking. All you got to do is get off your sorry butt and go to work. You can do this. I do it. You can too. It's not that easy. A lot of times it have a lot to do with your relationship and the people that you know and the breaks that you get. And whereas some people just can't seem to get a break for whatever reason. There's not a person on this earth that doesn't want to do good. So that's why we got to continue to keep our mind open, man, being willing to do whatever it takes in order to make everybody, man, feel comfortable, because there's enough in this world for everybody. And so he said, man, he was really bothered him. He said he don't know which hospital they took him to, but he would love to know the outcome on that. And he wanted to know, was the guy trying to commit suicide or somebody jumped him or what? He said he don't know. And so he said he probably won't ever find out because he don't know what hospital they took him to. So it was amazing. So that's why I said, man, it's just no love no more. So that's what I'm praying to God to give me some kind of idea in what, and I pray that he give you all one as well, something they're going to make a huge difference in this world. They're going to be able to help turn things around, man. Because God is groaning right now, man, because that's why so many things happen in very different places. Whatnot, he's trying to get our attention. That's every time when a catastrophe, something happens, it brings people together. You're quick to go in your wallet, man, to come out with some money to send to go do this. Why can't we do this, man, when things are not hurting? Because we got people all around us every day that need help. Why we have to wait to God to start groaning and get angry about certain things for us to do that? You know, that's a good question. Why? So I'm going to throw it back out there. Somebody else. Talk to me, somebody. Man, I just had to say that little piece. We got our work cut out for us, guys. We got our work cut out. Talk to me, somebody.
Hey, Frank.
Speaking. Andy, talk to me, Big Andy.
Hey, just to piggyback on what you were saying, I think this is the prime time for showing love to our fellow brothers. And not only that, I feel, I may be wrong, but I feel that God, he lets everything happen for a reason. And I think that, you know, when we was growing up, the older people used to say time is winding up.
Right.
I feel that it really is winding up. And I think that things that people put their hope in, you know, whether it be their money, whether it be the weather, whether it be their job, their houses, God is showing, you know, that all that stuff can be wiped away in a minute, in a moment. And so I think it's like he's giving us that opportunity. You know, the Bible says that the harvest is right, but the laborers are few. And I think, and I can just speak for myself, because it really hit me hard that so many times we pass up on opportunities to witness, and we have to remember that, you know, this life is just like a water drop compared to an ocean, to eternal life. And I myself, I would hate to see, you know, the opportunity to get to heaven and look back and be shown all the opportunities I had to help somebody else to make it, you know, to heaven. Because you're going to live eternally somewhere, whether it's in heaven or hell. But, you know, just like, you know, back when he had the disciples, you know, he told them to cast their net on the sea, and they was able to get all the, you know, all the fish that they can, you know, get in the boat. I think now with all this things, a lot of things that's happening, people are seeing how fickle, you know, things are, and it's a prime opportunity where I think they'll be willing to listen, to hear the, you know, the about God, you know, how they can have salvation. And I know, like I said, me myself, you know, it lets me know that, hey, I got to get on my job. The devil on his job. So
Yes, sir.
get on our job, because, like I said, some of the people that we might have started trying to witness to earlier, and they gave us a cold shoulder. The more things that happen like this, it lets them know it's like a man that been told he got 24 hours to live. But my father, he was like that. You know, my dad, you know, I tried to witness to him, and but he kind of turned away, so he didn't want to listen. But then the closer he got to death, and when the council was taking over, he was able to, he opened up his heart. So I think now what people seeing that, hey, with a hurricane, whether it be an earthquake, whether it be, them talking about the nuclear war and all this, everything going on at once, the financial, industry is questionable. So I think it's a prime opportunity. So I'm just thankful that, I'm thankful for salvation, but like I said, I don't want to just, get mine and just satisfied with that. You want to make sure at least everybody know about it. So I'm just thankful because I look around and I say, man, it could always be worse. That's one thing I always say. It can always be worse.
Absolutely.
We think that, hey, we're in a safe place, but nobody's in a safe place. But I'm going to leave it at that.
And that's a fact, man. Nobody in a safe place, and that's true, man. And our biggest problem now, just like I said, man, I can't seem to get around that thing, love. It's no love no more, and one of the hardest things is to forgive someone when someone does wrong you, even though they tell you a lot of times that I'm sorry, and we still harbor that in our heart. It's hard for us to forgive that person. I forgive you, but I'm not going to forget it. You might well not even forgive them if you're not going to forget it. Just let it go. Like unforgiveness is like drinking poison and hoping the other person die. You're killing yourself, man, when you hold on to unforgiveness, man. I'm going to say that again. Unforgiveness is just like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. And that's so true. So many people are doing that, man. So the one reason it seems like we haven't been convicted yet. The importance of really helping people and letting things go and forgiving other people. So we haven't really been convicted in that area yet, man. Because once we really get convicted, man, we'll start taking more action and start showing more passion on people and what have you, man. Because things happen sometimes, and we're human. We all are human, man. Because we got to realize in this life which we live, some people are out there really crying. A lot of people just really need help. Some people really need help. There's a such thing as they call a cry, and there's such thing they call crying. And some people are crying, and the people that are crying, those are the ones who really want help. And the ones just cry, those are the ones just want attention. And so you got to be discerning on that, because there's so many people that's out there we're playing on you. Because I have a sister the other day to get ripped off for like $1,300, man. This guy playing on her big time. And so like I told her, I said, well, don't worry about it. It will come back. This guy won't have no good luck. He won't have no good luck. But even though he might not believe in God, because people that do stuff like that, they can't have a belief in God. They can't. Then them the same peoples that will go out here and set up some kind of fund, a GoFundMe account, or whatever the case may be, like during this disastrous area, that thing that we're having right now, they'll set up some kind of fund, like they are send money into me. It's relief money to the flood victim, and they'll take that money and run off with it and have no remorse at all. And so it's high time now, guys, for us to really get convicted and to do all that we can to be able to make this world a better place. God gave this world to us, and it's up to us to straighten it out, to put things in place, man, to make it comfortable and better for everybody. Just like that thing, DACA, and what have you, man. Some of the people don't know nothing about their country. They've been here all their life. They were born here, So I'm not going to get into that. That's another ball game. Talk to me, somebody. Who else got out there? I know somebody got something heavy pressing their mind. Like I say on Facebook, what's on your mind? Talk to them. What are some things you're grateful for? Big Mike, you still with for Big Mike? Talk to him, Big Mike. Mike Howard. Are you in a position to talk, Mike? How about you, Sam? Talk to us, Sam. We heard from you since the beginning.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right. Yes, sir. I hear you well, Sam.
Yeah, man. Y'all talking about that storm release? I didn't catch none. I'm here in Powder Springs. We're doing pretty good, but my heart go out to the people that did get some damage and had some loss. I was planning on going to Tampa today, and they said the traffic was bumper to bumper from Atlanta to Tampa, so I waited on that one. I got a phone call from my cousin down in Tampa. He said everything good with him. So, well, I was glad to hear that. That's a blessing. He waited out the storm and he made it through. But then Councilwoman Valerie, she called me was it last week or week before, and wanted to know if we was gonna do anything for the flood victims down in Houston. I told her I hadn't made any plans to do anything, but if she wanted to put something together, I was willing to help out. I hadn't heard anything back yet. So if y'all want to do something, let me know. And I'm down to help out any way I can. And she is too. So let me know on that. That's it.
I helped on a few already, but like I said, I will do it again. If somebody wants to do something, I will be willing to help pitch in again. I have no problem with that. Like
I know you don't.
Pardon me?
I said, yeah, I know you don't. I enjoyed that last time. The thing we sat out there all day collecting stuff, and if you put something together and people see you, man, they love to chip in, man. Strangers just walking up donating to us for no reason, just out the kindness of their heart, man.
Right.
That's a good feeling too.
Mm-hmm. So the best is try to, like in times like this, try to get with somebody that already got the contact, that knows where the money to get, but know where it goes, know how to get it to the people and what have you. To somebody that got an organization already, set up for such as that. That makes it so much easier when you're doing it like that, because even like now. So you don't really know. So once you give, you just got to go. When you give from your heart, you can't worry about it. Somebody take and use it for any other purpose for which intent that it was given. It's not on you. It's up to them, because that's what they had been saying. They were saying like Red Cross and FEMA, it wasn't doing what they were supposed to be doing with the money. So if you know somebody personal, you reach out to them and help them, and that way some of the victims are actually getting the help. Because when you give it to those big, huge organizations like that, you don't really know where the money's going. But like I said, you can't worry about that. But as long as you give it from your heart, and if they're doing something unscrupulous, they'll have to give an account for that. But still, you don't want it to be swindled. You want it to get to the victim. That's the purpose which it was given. Okay. All right. Appreciate that, Brother Sam.
Uh-huh.
Is Robbie, are you on? Robbie Newman. I ain't heard from you in a while. I know, lots of time when I check the billboard, I see you be on, but I haven't heard from you in a while. So tonight be a good time. You speak up, man, as you out there. Big Robbie. 1, 2, 3. I guess not. Hey, Rod, are you on?
Dr. Marsh.
Talk to me, Rod. Talk to me. I can always count on you.
Man, I'm in the background listening. I don't even really know what to talk about around these parts.
Man, you always got something to talk about. Just talk about how graceful you are, man, and how you fared up doing this disasters.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Things out here where I'm at were okay. Again, we keep our heads bowed and our hearts extended to the people who went through what they or going through what they're going through, both from Mexico all the way to Texas, all the way to Florida. So it's just a lot going on, and I heard you talking about giving. Again, this is a time to release, whatever you can into the hands and the hearts of the people. Even if you don't know them, if you do know them, however that works out, but definitely an opportunity to do something as an extension of yourself there. But again, we're just thankful because when you look at the news and you see the winds and you see what power can come your way, and you have no authority, no ability, absolutely no protection or anything against the forces of nature. So it's definitely a time to really reflect and to get it together, as they say. So I'm just thankful that when it came to the United States, that most people seemed to listen, and they got out of Florida and got to where they needed to go in order to be protected. So, but hopefully everybody who's on the call, your families are good. If you need me or anybody that I'm connected to, don't hesitate to reach out. And again, I'm here willing to do what I can.
Amen, bro. And that's true too, man. That guy got a heart of gold, man. He mean that. Cause boy, as you were just sitting there talking, Rob, I was just reminded of these. Cause what we do here on this earth, man, this is how we're going to get our rewards when we enter into the kingdom and what have you. So I'm reminded of these three guys, man. There were these three guys, man. They all the three of these guys died, and they went to heaven. When they got there, they knocked on the door, and Peter opened it. Peter opened the door, and he said, "Come on in." And he told the first guy, "Take this key to that big old house up on the hill." And so he gave him some keys, and he went up there, and he had a big old nice mansion up on the hill up there, man. And then the second guy, the same thing. He gave him the keys, and he had a big old nice house up on the hill as well, man. Then the third guy came up, and he gave him a key, and he went and he had a little bit of small house. And then the third guy said, "Man," he said, "this all I get?" He said, "Man, the other two guys got a big old house, man." He said, "This all I get?" And Peter told him, "Yeah." He said, "But that's all we could do, with the material that you sent." In the time that you spent praying. He said, "That's the best we could do for you." So that's why I say the more you give, the more will be given back to you. And that's why we got to continue to pray all we can, man, and continue to give and do all we can. And it will be rewarded. It will be rewarded. And I'm a living example for that, guys. Living again. Because, just like they said, the more I remember back in the day when you used to sing this song in church, it used to say, "The more you give, the more will be given unto you." I did not understand that at the time. Because, like when you're young, you're in the selfish stage of your life. And what, hey, y'all, you want to do it, receive. All the young, you're not with all that giving stuff, man. I don't have it to give. And so, and then as I grew older and got out there and started working, got on my own, and then I realized, that it's a principle, there's a law. The more you give, the more will be given back to you. That's a sowing and reaping principle, and it's so true. It really works. The more you give, the more will be given back into you. If you don't like where you are in life, start giving more. You'll be surprised. You can give your way out of a financial rut. And I get on to my son a lot of times. My son will see me a lot of times giving money to people and stuff, and he sits there and he look and he frying. He said, "Dad, why are you always giving them people your money like that?" I said, "You need to try that, son. You need to start doing that sometime and watch what happens." When Dad, man, I can't afford it. I can't do it. I can't do it like you do it. I can't afford it. I don't have to give. I said, "I wonder why." I said, "That's why, because you don't give. Give your last sometime and just watch what happens. Just beef up your giving, guy. Like a lot of time when you're in a grocery store, if someone in front of you in the line, if they lack $1 or something, they short $1, you quick to give that $1, what have you. But just try sometime, maybe next time when you're in line with somebody, and just tell them, "I got that," and pay for the whole grocery. You know how to say it, just pass it on. And just step up your giving a lot of times. Just pay for that whole grocery sometime. I don't care if it's 50 if it's $100, pay for that grocery sometime, and just watch how your blessings will come back to you, and watch that glow that you put on that other person's face. Just watch how they respond when you do that. Just beef up your giving sometimes. Just pay for that person grocery in front of you. Say, I got that. Give them your credit card and put it on your credit. And they'll look at you like you're crazy. Just watch it. Just watch it. Just try it. Just try it. Just try it. I did that. Now, when I say this, guys, I'm not saying this, to try to make it look like that I'm this and I'm that. Please don't look at it like that. When I say stuff like this, because we are supposed to give testimony sometimes, because sometimes some things we don't even think about. Then when you hear other person's testimony, that triggers something in you, and it calls you to go do it as well. But make sure when you do it, make sure it's coming from the heart, guys. Make sure you're doing it. Now, I'm just going to see with this, do this really work? I'm going to see. Doing it just to test God. Doing it because you feel compelled, you feel convicted to do it. And just watch what happens. Just watch what happens. I dare you to do it. I double dare you. Talk to me, somebody. Talk
Frank,
to me,
I'm
somebody.
back on that play right there.
Pardon me?
I'm going to back you on that play right there. You just outlined on giving. One of the things I try to focus on when it comes down to it, and I believe this to be true, you always hear them say in church, there's good ground. Then there's stony ground, and then there's ground where weeds grow up and choke it out, all that good stuff. I won't get into all of it, but the thing that I want that Frank is saying focus on is not necessarily that you give into needy folk.
That's
not
right.
always somebody has to be in despair. Sometimes you want to go put that seed into the very best ground, somebody who don't even need it. And just an example, when you go into it, like you said, an establishment, and even if you just went into the Waffle House and you said, hey, somebody's sitting over there eating, and they obviously they can pay for it, they're in there, but you just want to take care of their meal. You don't have to tell them you're taking care of it. You just tell the waiter behind the counter you're taking care of. What's going to end up happening for you, and I'm talking about giving to every nationality, crossing the lines, taking care, I don't care what color they are, just give, and what's going to happen to you is you're going to unlock something that's been shut up. And I'm not talking about just giving it in the church. I'm literally talking about being a walking distribution center, not where you're going broke, not where you're being an idiot, but when you've been, like you said, compelled and led by the Spirit to release, you'll get a nudge. You'll know when it's time to do it. And when you go ahead and do it, it don't have to be no more than $5. But when you do it, what comes back, and it comes back quick every single time.
Yes, sir.
Every single time. And when you in a bind, now what you gave out of excess, if you ever get in a bind, it don't even have to be that you need finances. Sometimes you just need an encouraging word to dial in right now and start talking to you. But it's going to be there because you've sown the seed to prove to God that he can trust you with more than enough.
And that's a fact, man, because when you serve others, man, that are in need, or just like Rob said, necessarily not in need, you're serving God. Because your neighbor, because he said, to help and bless your neighbor. Your neighbor is anyone that is in need, and anyone that you go administer a great deed to, And so just try it, just like Rob was saying, the person don't necessarily have to be in need, because you want to sow in good ground. And because it's like when you get ready to plant your garden, you go out here and get some of the richest soil that you can to put your seed in. And that's how you get a great harvest, man. Because sometimes people that's always just in need and just always in need is not really doing anything. And so sometimes, man, because we get in the way, that's why you have to be very mindful of who you bless too. Because sometimes we get in God's way when we go and help certain people sometimes. God dealing with that person, trying to awaken their consciousness and what have you, man, because they still out here just swindling. Every time when they get $1 or something, they go swindle it. They don't never take the time to invest it, to do anything to try to turn that dollar over, because really you shouldn't really spend $1 until that dollar doesn't replace itself. And so that's why you have to be very careful. You got to make sure you're in line with God when you're helping people as well. Pray about that thing, man, because sometimes people in a certain position because God is dealing with them. Because you keep going and bail people out every time when they're in need, and sometimes you be getting in God way, and God said, "Wow, here come Frank again. Yeah, I'm working with this. I'm dealing with him, and here he come bailing them out again. I know what I do. I dry Frank resources up, and now Frank can't help nobody. Now Frank need help himself." So that's why you got to be very mindful of who you help as well too. Make sure they're in line with, because everybody is not your assignment. That's powerful right there. Everybody's not your assignment, So that's why you have to be discerning, man, and be led by God and what have you. He'll show you the ones to help. He'll show you. He'll lead and guide you. All right, guys. I've got anyone else? Talk to me, somebody. Do we have anybody that never been on the force or want to call before? Someone invited you on the call, and you accept the call. Stick to us. Share with them. If you don't have anything to say, just tell them who you are and who you're invited by, and then you can be quiet. They say talking on the phone like this is harder than talking in person. Sometimes I can believe that. People more amped to talk in an audience more so than on the phone. They say it's harder to talk on the phone when people can't even see you, and people still afraid to death to talk, and the people can't even see them. I can't understand that. But they say it's more easy to talk in an audience than it is on the phone. Do you believe that? Come on, talk to me, somebody. Somebody new. Somebody may not necessarily have to be new. Donnell, you on the call. Donnell, you on.
Yes. Hey, Frank.
Talk to me, D. Shake that tree to get you to fall.
Now, I had just switched out the battery out of my phone, and I just called back in. I was in earlier, and we were still talking about like what we're grateful for.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What else on your mind?
Okay. Well, kind of what a lot of other people were talking about. I have family that's in the Caribbean as well, and all through Florida, and a lot of them traveled up, and they got refuge over here in Georgia, and have some other family that they weathered the storm over there, so and they're okay. The yards might be kind of messed up, but they're okay. So I'm just grateful for God to sustain people, and it seems like there's been just my family and everybody who's protected, because the protection comes from God, and just grateful. Kind of like what somebody else was saying. We have in the United States, we have all these resources, and we have all these systems. Where we have advanced warning, and we have shelters, and we have just all kind of resources we're able to take advantage of, and that's how it is right now. And so but I would say this too, like if we didn't have all this stuff, let's just say cell phones went down today, how will we function? Like I would say within the past 7-8 years, whether it be through apps and GPS and everything that we do on our cell phone, it's like we're completely dependent upon this technology, and what will we do? And so what I would say is we just need to be able to hear God's voice even stronger, because you don't know what could happen. You don't know where we might be in the future, but we might have to just really rely on God's voice and His direction. And so that's not necessarily just something to be thankful for, but something to kind of keep in mind is to work on hearing God's voice. And sometimes that's with all the technology, everything's in my ear. Like me constantly, I'm always listening to something. Like if I'm even washing the dishes, I'm watching some YouTube videos trying to learn something about something that I don't know. And technology, we have so much intake of it And I would say is that sometimes it's good to just sit down and be able to allow to hear God's voice, for direction, because in these days we definitely need it, and we definitely need it. So I would say.
Wow, that's powerful down there. You're absolutely right, man. Sometimes, like we have in the storm, sometimes we need to just sit down and just listen to God's voice. And that's a time, like He trying to get our attention, just sit back and just give focus to Him, man, and get some direction. We get our orders and everything sometimes in a storm. Because that's it, when faced with a storm, the best thing you can do is just remain calm. Remain calm and just sit back and just listen to His voice and what is it He want me to do. Just be calm and respect His work, respect His handiwork, because ain't nothing you can do getting all upset and up in arm and it's not helping no, man. It makes it matter worse, man. You better right have a heart attack. So the best thing you can do during the time of a storm, just like you say, just sit back, just listen to God's voice, remain calm. So one of the best things you can do, remain calm. And then dealing with faced with a storm, also it can help you to regain focus. Regain focus on what it is that you need to be doing, and after this storm, what I'm going to start doing once this storm over. If God give me another chance through this right here, now what I'm going to start doing. Some things that I know that I should have been doing, but after this storm is over with, I'm going to redirect my focus in doing those things, man. And then also, when we've been faced with a storm, and also that with our time, it will cause us to renew our faith, in God. And what have you, man. Because sometimes, ain't nothing that we can do. It's out of our control. Only thing we can do is have faith in God, knowing that He will sustain us during this time, man, because He told us He would never leave us nor forsake us. And behold, I'll be with you always, even to the end of the age. And, and sometimes we go through a storm, we feel like this is the end of the stage, end of our age, what have you, man. So that's why I say, man, during time of a storm, you remain calm and you redirect your focus and you continue to have faith. And also, and remember, during those storms and everything, while you remain calm and you stay in focus, and you direct your focus and the faith that you have in God, you go back and you remember some of God promises. Because realize this is not here, especially some of the things that you haven't attained yet, and God done promised those things to you, and you believe that, And so now that's a good time to remember God promised. So I know this is not the end, because those things that He have promised me, I haven't attained them just yet. And what have you. And so, therefore, you just remain calm and just redirect your focus during that time, man. So that was good down there. That's what I thought about when you was talking about how that best time just sit back and just listen to the voice of God, during those time. Because, like I said, because a storm means stuff, something that, as an acronym, storm, something that only remain momentarily. That's what storm means. It's something that only remains momentarily, You look at it like that. So it's not going to last always. Just look how it was yesterday. Look how calm it was today. Just momentarily. Everything have a death date. I don't care what it is. You have a death date. I don't care what you're dealing with in life. It have a death date. If you just faint not. And you continue to hold fast to God's unchanging hand. God told us, He gave us a word, I would never leave you nor forsake you. He said, behold, I'll be with you always. And we got to stand on it, stand on that word. It's 1 minute after 9, guys, and we'll get ready to get up out of here. And anybody got anything burned on their heart they want to say right quick before we close out?
Hey, Frank, if I can share, this past Sunday's decree that that we do in church. I don't know if everyone saw Sunday's decree that that they do at church now. But if I can just share that, I want to just read it. I think this was powerful.
Go ahead.
Sunday.
Go ahead.
And it says, God, my protection in every storm. His will is my place of safety. I will live out my days in full. My life is abundant with God's grace. God lives in me and through me to bless others. I am blessed to bless. Serving others is a gift in which I find joy.
Man, that's awesome. That's right. That definitely gives me. You should find joy in blessing and serving others. Man, that's what it's all about, man. Appreciate that, dude. That was spot on, man. Are there anyone else got anything burning? Or they might want to respond?
Hey, Uncle Frank.
Frank.
Okay, I heard two people. Who was the first one? Sound like Patrick.
Patrick.
Talk to him,
yeah.
Pat. I'm getting called on you early. Talk to him, Patrick.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I've seen a lot of things in the last couple of weeks. I've been in Texas. I've been dealing with people in Bahamas, taking them to different places and stuff, and seen a lot of things. So, number one, I wanted to say this. I'm thankful that I got a roof over my head, food to eat, income coming in. You know, I'm thankful for the basic things. You know, some things we just don't think about till you lose it. But I've seen a lot of different things, and every time you deal with the government, there's gonna be some politics involved. So I was down there working with FEMA, and I saw, you know, they could have spent the money better than the way they spent it, but ultimately they did help people get out, including the National Guard and FEMA. They helped people get out of places where they were in danger. They gave them, you know, water. MRE was basically the food that they give soldiers when they're out in the field. So they did help out a lot, but I did see some wastefulness too, you know. So sometimes the government will subcontract stuff to other people. They get paid a lump sum, then they'll go hire other people, and so, you know, all that going down the line, you know, somebody's getting paid really well, even in a disaster, you know. But I just want to say that, you know, we got to be careful what we give our money to. I'm going to give you an example. I do not give money to breast cancer awareness. They're probably going to do that a lot this month. I'm not going to give my money to that, because if you really think about it, listen to the name of it, breast cancer awareness. They're not even looking for a cure. They're just making people aware, and they're raising billions of dollars for that. And, you know, another thing, Red Cross, sometimes, you know, they'll do stuff, but some stuff is just wasted money. So I'd rather find a person who I know is in the area who's doing something and give the money to them or the resources or whatever, because I know it's going to a good place. I'm not saying those people don't do good things. They do, but a lot of that money doesn't go where it's supposed to go. That's all I'm saying. So you just got to be careful what you give your money to, and really pay attention to stuff, because I'm more aware of stuff now. With that breast cancer thing, I haven't been giving money to that for the last few years, because I'm like, this is a scam. You know, they got people raising money all over the United States, and they're not looking for a cure. You know, so the way people say they're looking for a cure is they're really looking for a medication to treat you for the rest of your life or for a long period of time. They're not really looking to say, hey, you know what, I know this certain thing will get rid of cancer, and if I give it to you one time, it's gone. They're not looking for that. They're looking for a treatment. So we got to really be careful what we give our money to.
You're absolutely right about that, Patrick, man. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate those comments, man. You're spot on, man. That's just like, you know, like when you're saying they're not looking for a cure, you know, they're only looking for something, you know, a ways to treat, because if they cure, they'll be out of a job, you know, because they want that money to keep, you know, reciprocate, you know, back into their pockets and what have you. That's the same way with a lot of these politicians, man. A lot of these politicians, they're not looking for a solution for the problem. You know, they just want to kind of put a bandage on, because if they solve the problem, that's what they want to need them. You know, so they're not trying to solve the problem in a way. So you spot on, man. In total agreement with you, man. And I heard someone appreciate it, Patrick. And I heard, you finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. All right, hey, so who was that right after Patrick?
Hey, Frank, this is Jeff up on the West Coast.
Yeah, I wonder where were you, man?
Yeah, I came in the last 15 minutes. But I do want to say something. I know we're wrapping up, and I do appreciate and respect everybody's time. The one thing that I'm happy and grateful for is this platform right here. Offline, a lot of you guys don't know, but I do a lot of the marketing and I help out in the marketing aspect. And my job, and the one that I stepped up to do, would be to help Sherrod, which is the other marketing guy, to make sure that millions of people get to listen in and hear all the powerful speakers that you have come on, because you guys have like some knockout people that pour their heart out into this show, including me and, Dr. Sabi's grandson and everybody else that's been on here and have said great things. So I want to make sure that everybody gets the opportunity to hear it. So I'm going to pour my heart and share all the marketing stuff that I know with Sherrod and anybody else to make sure that this is heard by many, because you have so many great people that come on and hear it. I want everybody to hear it. So me and Sherrod are going to work on that. But I love this platform. Frank, I'm thankful that you put it together and it was put on your heart to do it. I'm thankful that you even reiterated the point, like we talked offline about, which was making sure this is a men's only platform, because I actually started to understand it when I took a step back, because initially I did not understand where you were going with it. I'm like, hey, man, it's for everybody, right? But when I started looking around, I noticed that we did not have platforms that were men-focused and men-centric, where men can come together and sharpen each other and say, hey, what are we doing? Let's hold ourselves accountable. Let's lift ourselves up. Let's lift each other up in the process too. So I'm very, very, very thankful that you stuck to your guns on that and you helped me see where you were coming from. So, again, I'm just thankful for the platform to be able to not only speak, because a lot of times guys do not have the opportunity to speak, and they don't have like that nurturing from a younger age coming up to be told to speak. A lot of us are just silent in the background. But in order to be those warriors and just those head of households and those leaders, you got to be able to speak, and you got to have an arena where it's cool for you to be able to speak, and nobody's going to chop you down the second you say something. So, again, I'm just thankful for the opportunity. Sorry to go over the time, but thank you, Frank, and let's continue doing the good stuff. All right.
Man, that was good, Jeff. We really appreciate that, man. Those were some powerful words, man. Man, Jeff, the guys that don't know, Jeff is the guy that spoke on last week. He spoke on health and what have you. And so, man, he real big on health, man. That's something that we all got to start being more conscious of our health. I don't care how much money you have, if you don't have any health, and if your health is not good, man, money doesn't mean anything. Because what the Bible plainly said, what does it profit man to gain the world and lose his wealth and lose his life and go to hell? Because I don't care how much money you have. Look at Steve Jobs, all the money he has. Steve Jobs had more money than the government. I think Steve Jobs had something like about 76 or $78 billion, and the government had something like 74 billion. Something of that. He had more money than the government, and he still got sick. And I'm sure he would have gave up every 76 billion of those dollars if they told him they had a cure for him, and he could be healthy and wealthy next week. And they gave if he surrendered all his wealth over to them, he would have did it with no problem. So that's what we spend too much emphasis, guys. We spend too much emphasis on a dollar, or what? Hey, man, we chase what it said. We chase all of our health, chasing our wealth, and then we get to a certain point we spend all of our wealth chasing our health. And what have you. So that tell you right there how important our health is. That's why it's so important for us to start eating right. If we don't know how to eat, find out how to eat, and start reading books on how to eat, and start getting with helping some nutritious and what have you, man. And hire your coach or somebody to coach you in that area. Because we were trained how to eat a certain way. And I realized it's not easy, man. You've been so used to eating that chocolate cake and all this and that, man. It's not easy to give up, man. But you can, but you have to make up your mind. That's what life is all about, is making up your mind, man. Because our everything our food is our medicine. Everything we put in our mouth is either adding life or death to us. So we got to start adding more life to us, start eating more food that's going to benefit us. That's why it's a book out there. If you don't know what food you should be eating, there's a book out there, Eat for Your Health. That's the name of the book. Eat for, it's number 4 on that, Eat for Your Health. So they're telling you what you should eat, because just like, for instance, like a car, for instance, if a car designed for unleaded, but you put diesel in it, what's going to happen? It's going to run terrible, man. It's going to run terrible. And you put gasoline in a diesel vehicle, it's going to run terrible. And that's the same iron. It's for your eat for your blood types. You know, because a certain blood type and certain bodies call for certain things. You eating, but you may be full, but everything you ate is not inspired. It's not called, we're not designed for that. It'll keep you going, but it's not getting the nutrients that it should be getting. And so, therefore, your body start breaking down in a period of time, and you want to know what's going on. I exercise, and I do this, and I do that, but you're not eating the right food that for your blood type. So you need, if you don't know what blood types you are, find out what your blood type is and start eating for your blood type, and you'll be surprised how your whole life will change. You know. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop right there, man, and who wants to close us out in word of prayer? And I really appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate everybody that came on and stepped up tonight. John, I really appreciate you, man. I think, John, you're going to be John, you still with us? Maybe he goes. He going to be speaking next week and what have you. And I appreciate John for coming on tonight, and I appreciate Jeff for stepping up, and I appreciate Dugar for sharing. I appreciate Rob, Sam, Andy, and, who else that I missed? Okay, Patrick and Donnell, and I appreciate all you guys, man, for coming, stepping up tonight, making this a success. And Mike, at the beginning, I think Mike is on mute. I think he's still hanging on. And I really appreciate all you guys, man. I think it was called tonight was very, very beneficial, and I just pray and hope, man, this broadcast are changing lives and things. That's what it's all about, man. You're changing the lives, man. So nothing fun. Anybody got anything, Burn, they want to share? Any announcements or anything?
Frank, this is a conversation we had between ourselves.
Okay, go ahead, Daniel.
But I didn't know Jeff was a part of the marketing team, and so maybe we can have a conversation with maybe a conference call since he's on the West Coast with Sherrod. Just talk about what we were talking about earlier. Just try to,
right, exactly. So we'll
organization. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll talk tomorrow down there. We'll go ahead and do that call and everything that we were talking about. What tomorrow look like to you?
I'll call you and we'll it looks good for now. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk.
Okay.
Appreciate you, man. Daniel, you like to close out in prayer, man?
Sure. Thank you, Lord God, for this day you've given to us. Thank you, Lord God, for the time you've allowed us to spend to sharpen each other, Lord God. We thank you, Lord God, for sustaining us and protecting us, all of our families, Lord God, us. Thank you, Lord God, for giving us protection, wisdom, and just helping us move forward, Lord God, in this life, giving us the ideas and the opportunities, Lord God, to take advantage of. So we are more, we're more providers, Lord God. We're just all the blessings, Lord God. Lord God, please protect everybody who's been on this call, everybody who's attended to be on the call, people who are speaking, who are not, all the force of one family, Lord God. Watch over us, protect us for our families. Give us have a great week, Lord God. Please give us something something new, Lord God.
Yes.
To help us move forward, Lord God.
Yes.
Lord God, we ask you all these things in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen, guys. I give you a date on the breakfast next week, too. I get a date on the breakfast next week. Because we hadn't had it lately, so I give you a date next week. All right, guys. Good night. Love you guys.